Hey there, my fellow researchers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, episode 13, Dedicated Research Room. Before I start, I would like to go over that the game has a bit of an update since we last played. So there's been two major additions to the game, the concept of bridges and the concept of greenhouses. So bridges, if I go into the builder here, is a pathway that does not get targeted by lightning and requires less support than floors and prevents an area from being enclosed. So a lot of my construction here, not specifically here, but like eventually I'll have a lot of construction that was like janky with weird roofs like this to prevent, you know, rooms from being enclosed and the like. So bridges are going to be a bit of a game changer in terms of design. So if I want a towered building, I can tower it relatively easily. And the other one was greenhouses. So bridges are nice to have, but not necessary. Greenhouses eventually become necessary. So a greenhouse is a room that has a skylight. It blocks rain, and the skylight acts as a window. The skylight only costs ice petals and iron. Normally, windows past the regular window that you start with costs frost glass, which is much more expensive. This frost glass is as a result of like beasts mutating materials. And the reason why this is a little bit more required than bridges is there are withering events that happen around mid to late game now, which cause any plant outside of a greenhouse to die, essentially. So greenhouses are one of those things that you should probably get around to building at some point before you start getting hit by those withering events. So those are the way it's called wasting. And then there was one other major gameplay change that really affects my game style, but not in a terrible way, which is that anemones and trapdoor vines, which are late game materials that you can collect, can't be harvested by anyone with level 1 nature, meaning that you need someone that has at least level 2 nature to do it. The automatic quilted beasts will have the necessary tending to do them, but your founder will not. So essentially the founder cannot harvest trapdoors anymore, which is something I was using them to do because the opportunity to get trapdoor vines is fleeting and it can be pretty tricky to get there in time. So first order of business for us here, as you can see in the top left, is to get Pascal and Kai to graduate, essentially. So I think I'm going to change some of these priorities right now. And I'm going to make some decisions that need to be made in order to keep them on faculty. So the problem that we're going to have, right now the problem that we have is that Kai is moody. And that's because he's a Raven Cult student. And we don't have a lot of quality of life benefits in our school for him. So he's moody and like, yeah, it makes sense because we only have the basics. So what I want to do is start to push towards better facilities for faculty, because once he becomes faculty, we don't want him to have mental breaks all the time. That would be really problematic, and we'd probably want to dismiss him if that was the case. Now, the reason we're keeping him is his Dark Wand allows us to dispel the fog way more effectively, so we don't have to do as many dispel rituals, but it very might get to the point where he becomes so problematic that we dismiss him anyway. Because if he's more trouble than it's worth, well, why put up with it? So that means that I would like to start working towards a few different things. So what are we currently researching now? Flashes of Brilliance, trying to get the lightning rod? I think that makes sense. But what we're going to want to do after we get the lightning rod, because we're almost all the way there, is to get the Cronbug pen. The Cronbug pen allows you to transmute ice petals into frost glass, which is required in order to build pretty much all of the nicer rooms. There are other sources of frost glass, but not reliable ones, like going into dungeons and like. And I don't want to rely on like dungeon frost glass because it will very, very much limit the amount of design that we have the opportunity to expand into. Silver and Chains, Backroad Runner, Bloody Death, and Ink, thank you for the bits and the resubs. And a Bixable too. Cheers. So, I'll update the priority, get lightning rods, and then Cronebug pen. So, there's a thing about a Cronebug pen. The Cronebug pens require very specialized students in order to get one of them. So the Refining Beast must be hatched in a Cronebug pen, which means that the hatchers have to have a nature skill of at least, there has to be 3 students involved in hatching it. One has to have a nature of 3, one has to have a water of 3, and one has to have an earth of 4 in order to get a Cronebug pen. Now, you only hatch it once, so unless you destroy your Cronebug pen, it's a one-time thing where you need that lineup of students to do. And the other Refining Beasts are kind of the same way. So the bird, wherever the bird is, where is the bird? I forget what the bird is called. I think typing bird is not going to help me. Refining? No. Beast? Bird? Oh, God, what is the bird called? Oh, no, it is bird. The Weaver bird. The Weaver bird requires fire 4, air 4 to be able to be hatched. And they're more for textiles. The Weaver bird can do textile refining. But the Cronebug pen is going to be way more necessary. So once Pascal and Kai graduate, we ought to think about bringing on the students required to hatch a Cronebug so that we can start refining ice petals into frost glass so that we can make much nicer accommodations so that people stay happy. The other way to stay happy is to provide better food. So ultimately the morale is sort of driven by your bedroom, your dining accommodations, whether or not you have rec room, and the quality of the food that you eat. That's sort of the 4 big morale modifiers that you have dials to. So maybe what I'll do is ask you guys whether I should first pursue bedrooms and dining or food, because they go in 2 very separate directions. And I'm fine with going either direction. So one, if we went food, we would probably be setting up quilted beasts to do the harvesting and tending, meaning that we would need a quilting room and then also a greenhouse. And then if we went with better dining rooms and better bedrooms, we would go the Cronebug approach where we build that stuff up. So how about I poll you guys? How to keep people happier? Better bedroom and dining rooms? Or better food? There you go. Poll is invisible? Oh no, it's just totally in the wrong spot. Use my magic and move it over. Okay, my magic sucks today. Oh, there it goes. So there you go. There is a timer on that poll, and thank you for voting. Now, either way, I think that will sort of just change the direction of the initial research, but it's going to be very, very hard to do anything without the Cronebug pen refining beast refining frost glass. That's sort of like a need to have, even if we do dining. Or food quality, rather. But I would just prioritize getting food sooner. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do right now is a repel fog, because the fog's coming in, and no thanks. So let's push that thing back. In terms of the remaining trials, Pascal requires petting Refining Beast a ridiculous amount of times. He's not going to make that. And then also I need him to eat in a dining room or house commons 30 times. He's not going to get that either. We're not even going to attempt for either of those. And then Kai's is that he casts at a dark teaching portal. Completely out of the question. Ridiculous. Stretch goal, that would take me like 30 hours to even get to. Forget that. Or a defensive duelist, which is defeat a 3 skull or higher party without anyone going down. Unlikely, because we just don't have the powerful lineup in order to contend with that kind of combat. So I did get some YouTube comments about that. About having students in perpetuity. It is entirely possible to have students in perpetuity. Meaning that you keep them as students, you never graduate them. That works. However, I will mention, it doesn't work well for low conviction students. And Kai is absolutely a low conviction student, so it is not a viable strategy to have him as a student for the next 30 hours so that I could do the solo learner for dark magics. He would have so many mental breaks and be such a problem that it's a absolutely atrociously horrible idea, and I couldn't think of a worse way to punish myself. Because having fussy students that are constantly causing problems and going on mental breaks and getting themselves captured in the fog and all that is a drain that slows down everything. I would likely have, if I kept him around, I would likely be so burdened that I might lose the game. To be honest, like if you continue to keep bad students like that, it honestly could have that consequence. And then passing them up and having much easier students to deal with, I could get much better students than him offered up, in lieu. So, absolutely a terrible idea to have bad students for the sake of that they have high potential power. Because he's not even gifted. He's just a regular tier 3 wand student. It's not really a big deal. The only situation that I would consider a student in perpetuity like that is if they had... If at max level, they were likely to have, like, let's say a power of 50 or so, and their primary magic skill somewhere in the 8+, he's only going to be a 6. So, like, whoop-de-doo, I don't care. A 6 is pretty common late game. 8+, 8, 9, or 10s, they're a lot more rare, especially if they're high power. And the level of the magic determines the level of the spells that they can cast. So, like, a level 6 is sort of power capped, where he's only going to get, like, level 1 and level 2 spells, where a level 8 might get level 3 spells, which are significantly stronger. Just to put it in perspective. So 1 more minute to vote. We're just shy of a minute. If you haven't cast your vote, it's pretty close. Now that we already have the Oracleum of Power, I don't really need to do a lot more dungeoneering unless we need the materials. So I did mention wanting to get lightning rods. I have 50 iron right now, and I think it's 25 per lightning rod. So, let me look that up. Yeah, it's 25 per lightning rod. So yeah, I won't need to immediately go for more dungeons for more iron. So the thing is, the deeper you go down, the more difficult the periodic attackers become. So it is ultimately a bit of a problem if you continue to go further than you're capable of dealing with, because you're sort of unleashing horrors upon your school stronger than you can contend with. So it's good to pace yourself and not over-explore, unless you absolutely need the materials for some reason. So you all have voted for the Cronebug bedroom pairing. Got it. So the current priority is to get lightning rods, graduate the tier 3s, and Cronebug pen. So once the tier 3s graduate, the way to easily get a Cronebug pen is just to have 3 gifted students, all each with level 1 wands, nature, water, earth. Because a gifted student will have a magic potential of level 4, In fact, we don't even need gifted students for the nature and water. So once Susan, Kai, and Pascal graduate, we can consider just getting the students that we need for that lined up. And let's look at the research, what that will unlock us on the way there. So on the way there, it does give us the ability to get Earth Wand 2s. Small arch support so that we can build further out from a wall, and bridges, which are really nice. And then these columns are really nice. What these columns allow you to do is it allows you to build a column from the ground up to support a floor. So that you, on the left, I couldn't go very far because of this hill. So I could build a column here and build a column here to have it go out. And on the right, it's a little bit more flat, a little bit further out. But ultimately, those columns are very helpful when you want to go wide. Because there's, you know, there is transportation time to be considered when you're designing a bigger school. So the more square it is, the lower the transportation time. Whereas if it's a massive, really high tower, it's going to take a long time to go from the top tier to the, let's say, basement. And if it's massively wide, same to go left and right. So keeping everything as compressed as possible keeps your people productive. So there's a Spectral Rift. Got it. And then that will also lead to the Chronebug Pen, which also leads to Sculpstone and Frostglass, which is going to be needed for the windows. Once the students have finished eating, I will fight this Spectral Rift. I think they ate. So we're good to go. The other thing I might want to stop and do before I go for Chronebug Pen is to get the Potion of Recharging. All Tier 2 wands require potions of recharging to be able to craft the Tier 2 wands. So if we want to start to get Tier 2 students and Tier 2 faculty, those potions will be certainly very helpful. Another thing that they changed, small change, but now there's a taunt buff modifier. Before you had to count in your head, like, oh, okay, that was the first hit, it's only good for 2 hits. Now it does it automatically, which is nice. Let's bolt you. Man, your power is so bad. I should have, and didn't, I should have brought with me rejuvenation potions. I forgot how absolutely weak our starters are. But what I can do is I can do a slowing strike on them, pushing them back so that I can potentially crit and kill them. Please crit, please crit. Okay, good. Now Cathanon is not going to go down, or a lock rather is not going to go down. Ah, crits back to back. So the problem is you're out of mana, but you have 2 taunts left and no... Okay, so we're going to try to kill it this turn. Which should be fine, because it's already within death range. Good. Well, it could have gone better, could have gone worse. I'm going to have Locke drink 1 potion, and that will prevent him from having a bed rest for so long. So the thing I'm thinking about is right now we're researching in the basement. And I'm sort of curious how hard it would be to put a research room together to speed up the research speed. So let's consider that. I'm going to go to room types. And the Mage's Study is going to be the easiest, which is private, skewed, one door with a... Oh, no, this requires a scrivener's desk. Got it. I don't have Agnes... oh, no, it doesn't. Sorry. Arcane Secretary. Okay, we have that, and 2 bookshelves. We could do that. The tower requires private, lofted, towered bookshelves. We can do tower as well. Private, lofted, and towered. So towered means private has 1 door. Lofted means it's taller than it is wide. And towered means it doesn't share walls or ceiling with anything. So where this scullery is right now could be towered relatively easily. And it could be towered even easier as soon as I get the support research done, which is the this one, little support. So maybe that's something to push for once those conditions are met, perhaps. I could also actually do it here as a stopgap. I think a lot of the buildings that I have going on right now are like sort of temporary, waiting for the research to make them bigger and better. But I can shrink down this dormitory a little bit. In fact, we have 2 dormitories, so this doesn't even need to be a dormitory, technically. Because if I only have 3 students, it doesn't... Yeah. But I don't mind having more than 3 students. So maybe what I'll do is I'll build a tower above it. Roy, thank you for the resub, by the way. Welcome, welcome. So, Shield, how about you start working on construction? And that way, we get a much better research boon. Because I already have access to bookshelves and the Arcane Secretary, so we can be getting our research a lot faster if we invest in it. Plus, I believe Pascal is going to be a very good researcher, because he's lightning. If you're wondering, lightning is research speed. So when he becomes a teacher, we can put him on research and blow through research like you would not believe how fast it goes. So this is still a little dorm, but now I have set it up so that we can have a room above it. And it needs to be a towered room and lofted. So this is towered and lofted, and was it skewed still? Let me double check that. Mage's Tower is private, lofted, towered. Okay, so it doesn't need to be skewed. Fantastic. Easy. That's it. That's all we'll need. I should add it to the priority, but like, there's already so much room there. Actually, I might... No, this is okay. I'll leave it alone. So we'll get that set up, and that will help us to obtain research a lot faster. Like, so much faster. So how are we on our food? Cupbearers are looking good. Bitter gruel, carcass stew. Our farm plots are okay. Yeah, we're good there. Doesn't need a scrivener's desk? No. If you look at it, it says it must have... oh no, you're right about the tower. So we'll do a study. So it must have one of the Arcane Secretary. So we'll get, oh, and I hear Croa eating my crops. Shield, if you don't mind. Oh, no, Locke's already doing it. Perfect. So how close are they to graduating? Pascal is, let's say, about halfway to level 5, and that's the only school of magic left, so pretty close. It just occurred to me that Kai has not done a power ritual. Got it. We need one more ice petal for that. So that might be something we want to do as well. I'm a little worried that we're not going to keep him, that we're basically investing in him, and he's going to be too hard to keep happy. But I suppose we'll see in the long run. It's possible that my worries come true, but possibly not. The chests still have a little capacity left. Yeah, actually a lot of capacity. So we're okay there too. So we have the ice petals. And 24 phoenix flowers stored here and 20 of the ice petals. So I could go around the school and make sure they're all hauled to the right container to make the ritual a little bit easier to do. So I'll tell Shield to go store that. Because it really sucks. The ritual itself takes a long time, and then when the students have to collect ice petals from, like, a ton of different sources, the ritual itself becomes maddening for the students to do, because they spend all day long collecting the materials, and they're still not even done. So having the materials stored locally is a godsend for them. Oh, humans perform worse in battle. So they're afflicted with fragile, meaning that if they are knocked out, they go on death's door for a shorter period of time, which is like not a big deal. Just don't let them get knocked out. Way easier said than done, sure, but, you know. That, as far as all of the Banes go, that one's not so big of a deal. It's not like they instant die or anything like that. The other question is, should we even do a power ritual on Kai? The argument not to is dark magic is not a good combat school most of the time. So he's probably not even going to use his extra power. So perhaps I pull on that. Should Kai go do the power ritual? Because I can obviously save materials if he just skips it and doesn't do it. But if you think it's worth it, that's fine too. Either way works for me. I'm going to need a lot more ice flower petals to actually get the stuff that we want to queue up done. The other thing that's nice to put in the mage room, or near the mage room, is a mana lantern, because it takes mana to research. So if you have mana lantern nearby, they don't have to go running for a new one, which is quite nice. Walls unreachable, that's fine. I'll just leave it out. Alright, Cathanon. Let's have you bring that up. Oh, he ran out of mana, like right in the middle of that. Shrink for move. So it's a workshop now. It already has 25% extra research speed. Let's helpful. For shield, you know, I'm gonna want to fix that roof. It's gonna bug me if I don't. For shield, once we get the new roof on, I'll try to get all the bookshelves required. And you guys say Kai shouldn't even bother with the power ritual. I am kind of in agreement there. That's why I put it up for poll. If you guys wanted to overrule me, I'd be alright with that. But I figured I'm not going to use him for fighting. Alright, Pascal, you're very, very upset. Why? You are volatile and disengaged. So the disengaged is what I was talking about. If students haven't leveled up or earned a medallion in a long time, they become very disengaged, and it becomes a big break risk. So he's having like a super bad break risk at the moment. I'm hoping that like spending some time recreating will help. But as you can see, his learning gauge has plummeted, and Kai's will too. So time is of the essence to try to get them to level up and graduate and all that. It's one of the reasons why it's very handy to have powerful teaching rooms, because high-level students, it takes more time for you to teach at higher-level schools of magic, and they can become disengaged and very upset very quickly. So he's on a rampage now for his mental break. Got it. Well, that's fun. So Rampage, if you don't know, had a break, is wandering school, destroying food and furniture, and has an increase of power doing it. So, smashing stuff. So this is just requiring a Scrivener's desk, and it will be increase of research speed. And if you're wondering, the Scrivener's desk is here. So it requires ash parchment, which requires a weaver bird's nest, or for you to find ash parchment somewhere. So it's nice to have the room set up. There's at least a 25% research speed bonus having it built, but I can't finish the room until we do more research. Fogs are getting a little close. I just need a few wormweed pods to push it back. Wow, he is really going to town on the food. We now only have gut berries. He's destroyed every other food source. And then he's at death's door. Because he, sort of passed out of frustration, anger, whatever it was. Okie dokie. Let's do a revive. I think you are starting to be able to see why I was very hesitant to say, yeah, let's, this is exactly what I was saying. Keeping students on as students in perpetuity is horribly annoying. Case in point. This is not even the one that's going to be moodier. And he's, going berserk, destroying all our meals, and then passing out and requiring medical attention. Yeah. It's not great. Not great. And now he has 8 days of... 8 days of a negative trauma as a result of that experience. And Kai's about to get one as well. So they can't graduate any sooner, in my opinion. Highland Timber, thank you for the resub. A little worried about the... Oh, yeah, he is about to go. A little worried about the food that we have available. The other thing I could do is we have... Okay, where's my teachers? Cathanon. Okay, Cathanon's here. Because Pascal is actually pretty close to graduating. He only has a tiny bit of lightning left to learn. And Cathanon is a lightning caster, so it learns faster from Cathanon. So just having one fewer students that are going to fuss and destroy things would be, like, amazingly helpful. And the wormweed pods that I was hoping to do the ritual with got oozy stomach. Okay, so Kai is now just vomiting everywhere. So he's going to run around, splashing filth everywhere, and then going on death's door. Awesome. And causing oozes. Yes, this is great. You're gonna vomit in that room too? Yes. The answer is yes. And then they're gonna destroy all of my lovely... yeah, there it goes. The recreation room has been ruined. Oh, and now you're going to ruin the research workshop? Fantastic. Let's go ahead and set hunting as a... Oh, it's already a critical priority. Hey, Shield, go do that then. Because, yeah, the Scrivener's desk is almost fully broken. Yeah, there we go. So there's a lot to repair. There's the bed that got broken due to the rampage, and then the enchantophone that got broken due to the goozes that got vomited up. So, oh, and more Uzis. We have replaced the bitter gruel meals that we lost, and I still have a lot of bitter rice, so that's not a problem. At least we have a good source of food. And now Kai is down. So the wormweed that I was hoping to use to push the fog back is getting tied up in another death's door ritual. Susan, at least, is ready to graduate. So thank you, Susan, for, you know, like, not being totally a poop. I'm sorry that we couldn't... Oh, you know what? I could actually have you participate in a ritual while full. If we have Susan be the one to do the repel fog, that's a ritual, and I can have her eat right before it, so she becomes a student that graduates with highest honors. And in fact, she just ate, so maybe that's a good idea. Let's do that. I think what I'm going to do is only a small repel ritual, because she's not particularly great at them. Oh, no. I'm going to do a superior, because she can't be involved otherwise. So we're not pushing the fog back as far, but at least she gets every medallion. So there's some benefit there. And you, sir, are going to be revived by fellow student. That doesn't sound sketchy, but we're doing that anyway. Fog's dangerously close, but no problem. It's getting pushed back now. Alright, priority. I'm going to set lock on high repair and shield on critical repair. I know shield has like tons of critical priorities now. Well, let's take a look. There's a foggy crystal, smoky... Ooh, there's a smoky crystal. Yeah, let's get that. Oh, even more tasks for you, Shield. Sorry. Go get that smoky crystal. So you, little miss, fully trained up. I love it. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, which originally streamed live on Twitch, April 23rd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits, so thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow magic users.